This isn't just random stuff going on right now. It's off the charts. And it's just a fraction of what I know. That is, energy is shifting in a huge way. Today, I have the privilege of interviewing my guest, Nicole, who is experiencing orbs since 2021 in a way that is profound, that she has not talked to anybody about. Only her close family members who've actually experienced it firsthand with her know this. They don't understand it. But here's what I found out today in this wonderful interview. Thank you, Nikki, for sharing all of this with us. That she actually experienced sightings of UFOs prior, and the state of which she did this in is so parallel to Chris Bledsoe, who I've talked a lot about. There is a pattern here, and it's all related to the energy fields we're in, the frequencies we're in, and how we connect to things that will come in and assist us at certain times in our lives. So I want to welcome Nikki to share her experience and many photographs and videos of the orbs that she sees. And I do believe these are the real deal. And how she communicates with them, and how we're going to share with you how this can assist you in really taking down the veils between here, this really boxed in limiting life that we believe, and the one that we really are. So get ready for some really amazing uh, demonstrations of orbs. And we're going to discuss what's the power within, what's the energy you can connect to. Let's get ready. Let's go. All right, so welcome everyone. This is an exciting day, and I had promised before to bring Nikki on because, as you know, in the many years I've been on YouTube, I have never invited anybody on with any such thing like orbs. Why? Most of the stuff that comes over, no offense to anybody, it's not the real deal. And I know it looks like that. I actually studied this a lot and compared what's going on with precipitations, with other things that appear to be, especially with cameras, digital cameras, can appear to be different things. This was the first time I genuinely felt that this was the real deal. It behaves like orbs. What are they? We're going to talk about all this stuff. So I'm so excited to bring Nikki on and to discuss not only her background with orbs and her experiences, but what are they? And how do we interact with them? And why are we seeing more and more of this? So, welcome, Nikki. I'm so
Hello.
happy to have
Hi.
you on the
Pleasure to
show.
be here.
Yeah. And so what I want to share first of all is that I had promised this podcast earlier, but we had technical difficulties, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Surprise, it's going on all week. Energy. And as I shared with Nikki, camera number 4 is coming over tomorrow. I'm blowing through these things and something's going on and it's energetic. Now, I just shot a video about this, but we're going to delve deeper into it because I want to pick her brain. Not that any of us has the ultimate answers, but when you deal with something firsthand and you get the reaction from that energy source, you start to get to know what it is. And as we know, everything's intelligent. Everything is. And so, Nikki, let's talk a little bit about your history. What happened during that time period when it started, specifically, that may have caused this to appear in your
Okay.
life? So, when did it all start?
Okay. It started in April of 2021. I was at my house. My son was over visiting, and we had our friend at the time was also over visiting. And I had seen some UFOs in February, and two. And my son had also seen a UFO in February. All three times, I'm not joking, we were on the phone with each other. So, and we experienced this, and he actually got a clip on his
All
phone.
right. I'm going to stop because I know that you guys want to hear more about that. So before we
Okay.
go to the orbs, explain where were you
Okay.
and how did he see them? Explain what did they look like? How
Okay.
many times you've seen them? Give us more details.
Okay. So it was in February 2021. I had just gone through a lot of stuff. So, a lot of stuff like trauma and breakup, family stuff. So, and I was dealing with all that stuff and feeling pretty low, but trying to keep my vibe up. And I was driving home from work one night, heading west, and the UFO appeared in the sky to the left of me, heading west. So that would have been in the southwest sky, and it was like a bright craft. It was like a bright craft, something like I've never seen before. I'm shaking
More
because it was
metallic, or was it more? Did it have a metallic to it?
no, yeah, it was like shiny, like a bright shiny craft, and it hovered for a little bit, and then Landria it just disappeared in a flash. And I'm like, what was that? And I was on the phone with my son. I'm like, I think that was a UFO. So then about a week later, I was on the phone with him. Now I was out living kind of rural at that time. So my son was in the city driving around, and he saw, because after we got off the phone, we discussed it some more after that. And then he saw like a similar thing, and he got a clip on his phone. And he said the same thing. He's like, what was that?
Will you share that? Will you be able to share that clip with us?
I have it on
Well,
my
then
phone.
we will. I will put that in here so we can
Okay.
see this. Now
Okay.
that's we have heard this. Where have we heard this before? And Chris Bledsoe is just one of the ones out there talking about it, of
Right.
people going through distress
Yes. Big
and
time.
yes, seeing UFOs, and
Yes.
then another family member seeing the UFO, and
Yes.
then seeing orbs identical type of
Yes.
layout of to Chris Bledsoe. I think this is very
Okay.
interesting. All right, so
Okay. My
that's
head's tingling.
yes.
So then I
Oh,
saw,
see, there we go. So in
yes,
February, you saw one, was it one UFO?
two. So then later on, and I have everything documented on my phone, dates and times. I've been journaling like crazy. So I was on the same road again, heading west. And then, but this was in the northwest sky. And this one was bigger, brighter, and it had like a top to it, like a middle section, and then like another bottom section to it. And it was bright metallic, and that one hovered a longer time. And then this bright flash came out of the side of it, like out of the right side of it, and then poof, it was gone. That was a lot to take in.
Now
It was
you
a lot
you
to
didn't
take
have
in.
any missing time or anything?
No, no,
Okay.
nope, nope. And then I'm just
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
okay, so that's happened twice. And then I've always been a sky watcher ever since I was younger. So, and I've been noticing things in the sky, like flashes in the sky, and different colors in the sky. And um so anyway, so then fast forward to April, I had a friend over at my house. My son was there, and um my friend had these tones on his phone that he wanted to play and try something out. So we went out on my back deck. I lived on a canal at the time, and he played the tones. And so we're just standing out there, and it was in April, but it was super cold. And played the tones for a while, and then my son's like, "Oh, did you feel that?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't feel anything." And he felt something go through the yard, and Landria on the water. My friend and I saw these lights flashing on the water. It was
Were they
amazing.
round?
Just lights. I can't say if they were round or not, but they were like lights flashing on
What
the
color?
I'm if I remember correctly, like green.
Oh,
Green is sticking with me, like green lights. My son did not see the flash of lights. And my friend and I, we didn't feel it. So
okay.
he felt it and we saw it. So that was that. And then really started taking even more interest in the sky after that.
Yes.
So then that was then, and then not a lot going on after that. And then and we kept playing the tones and trying to attract things, and it wasn't happening. So went down on a back road on my birthday. My birthday's in June, and played the tones again, got into a very relaxed, peaceful state,
Mhm.
and nothing was happening. And it's like, okay, you know what? I was hoping for a miracle on my birthday, but it's not happening. They came, and
Wow.
they came like you wouldn't believe. They are not lightning bugs. That's what we say where I live.
Yeah.
They're not lightning bugs.
Yeah.
They're not. Lightning bugs are yellow.
Yeah.
These were huge, round, the brightest, most brilliant lights you could ever imagine. And they were like so white that they almost were like blue,
Wow.
if you know what I say.
Yes.
And they started, like kind of like one at a time. And then they started showing up. And then that was then. And then I have everything documented for that too. And then they just started showing up where I lived,
Yeah.
like on the tree lines and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
over the water. And then and I called them my lights. That's what they were like my
And at
nickname.
this point, they were not in the home yet?
Maybe they were, but no, these were just strictly outside, but they were
Outside.
huge. And I found that I could communicate with them
Okay.
telepathically.
Uh-huh.
So I started, like, can you flash for me? Flash. And they kind of like to show off. I was seeing they would do this little kind of flash thing, like on the bottom, kind of like, hey, look at me and look at me. And I thought that was just so cool. And I was building a relationship with them.
Yeah.
So then another night we went down one of the back roads. Those were there. I called them the lights, but they were just like giant orbs.
Yeah.
And they were showing up nightly, daily. And then these other little beings appeared that were not lightning bugs. They were these little tiny greenish yellow energy, just like flowing energy, no physical form at all.
Mhm.
And we put our hands out like this, and they actually came into our hands. This is not, I'm not joking,
I
totally
know you're
sober.
not joking, right?
Totally.
By the way, she's on
Um,
here because I know she's not joking.
no, totally sober too.
Oh,
So
yes, good point.
I have to let people know they're totally sober. So, so on a dirt road, and then I was standing in the middle of the road in the dirt, and one of them was on the ground in the dirt. So I took my finger and I kind of like followed it, like followed it along in the dirt, and I had my finger down, and Landry, it crawled, whatever it was, crawled up my right arm to about my elbow, and then it disappeared.
Now,
It
did
had no
you
body.
feel anything when it contacted you?
No, well, all of this was happening, and all these times that I've seen them, I've felt this bliss,
Okay.
like a beautiful,
Mhm.
peaceful bliss, no fear, never scared. It was just, it's beautiful. And I started looking forward to them. So I
Yeah.
couldn't wait for nighttime for them to show up. So that one went up on my arm. And then I went out of state for a couple months, and nothing happened while I was out of state. And I was in a very dense area, so I don't know if that
Yeah.
had anything to do with it. And I was very busy at the time. I came back home and saw some of the big orbs again. And then I had woods across from my house. I like to go walk in the woods. One day I was over in the woods, and the bottom, like the ground of the woods, started lighting up. And it was those tiny greenish yellow energy beings again. They were like more on the floor and on the lower lying
Mhm.
shrubs or trees or whatever.
Mhm.
And then the bigger orbs were, and there was like a magical, like it's something you see in a fairy tale with
Yeah.
these big orbs and whatnot. So that was that. And then in October, I was walking my dog, and on a leash, and he took me to kind of like vacant lot, a couple doors down from me.
Mhm.
The little greenish yellow energy beings were in that vacant lot. My dog led me to them, and they were there for about a week. And
Wow.
I'd go down and visit them every night. And they would crawl up onto a rock, but I could not get photographs of those or of the big ones for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But they were very real. Other people did see them as well. They
Yeah.
came over and they talked to them. But they, like I said, they kind of had just like this, like a flowing energy like
Yeah.
this. And I learned that I could communicate with them telepathically as well. And I could ask them like yes, no questions only, and they would flash for a yes,
Oh my God.
like a no, and I would ask them things that like where I knew the answers to, you know what I mean? So like, is my name Nikki? Yes. You know, so that was that. Um, so that was in the fall, and then fast forward to 2022, April of 2022 again. And I've been having, you know, a lot of sky stuff going on still. And then inside my house one night I had like those like the LED lights, you know, up in the
Mhm.
like in the whatever the trim of my house, and they
Right.
started flashing and changing colors. And I'm like, what's going on here? So turned on my video camera, and the first orb inside the house showed up. So it was a year later
As we're
from the first
speaking, I
time.
will be showing some of these pictures that she shared with me,
Sure. Yes, and
including
I have more pictures I can
yes,
send
and I'm
to you.
gonna add as many as we can during this, so while we're talking, they
Okay.
will yeah, I'll be showing our audience and, in particular, the one that, you know, when the orb, which I'll show right now, the orb with your little doggy goes
Mhm.
by, you can see that the dog is very aware of this.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to specify to everybody that I am very aware of, you know, lights from cars going by or that and this is nothing like that, and this is consistent, and it is absolutely unexplainable. So
It, it
that
is.
now so they start coming more and more inside. Now
Yes,
you
they were.
do
Go
you
ahead.
do you see them without the camera?
I have, but
Okay.
not very often. To me, they look like kind of like a bubble.
Yeah.
It's to me, to my naked eye. Now, like my son's girlfriend, she can see them with her naked eye sometimes. And
Okay.
I've seen flashes and stuff before. My son has seen like flashes, you
Yes.
know, above my head. I've
Yeah.
tried taking a video of myself, you know, when I'm videoed,
Yeah.
you know, I don't see anything. So so I guess I'm more of a feel,
Well,
more of a
now
feeler.
what inspired you to start shooting? So you pull the camera out in you sort of have a sense that they're showing up. Now, by the way, I want to mention this, and I know I mention his name constantly, but I think he's the real deal, just like Nikki is. Um, Chris Bledsoe says he tells them, "Oh, we're going to see some." He knows in advance, just like you do, that
Yes.
something's gonna show up and people witness this and sure enough, something shows up. So when you feel that, what is it you're feeling?
Just kind of a presence, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know how else to explain, like their presence, but I know that they're like all around me all the time
yeah,
because I've caught them in my car, you know, every room in the house, everywhere. I've lived in 3 different places and caught them in every place. So but it's like a knowing. I can't. It's hard to explain.
so
I just
sort of like
know they're
when you go into a home that is, occupied by ghosts, we know it's like you
right.
feel like somebody's standing behind you. That's a different kind of feeling, but
Yeah, yeah.
not
No,
always
this
a
is
good one. Yeah.
no, this is a good and Landry. I've never. I want people to know, you know, there's nothing to fear with them at all. It's a beautiful, blissful, calming, supportive feeling. It's
Yeah,
and with all the stuff that I've had going on, you know, the past few years, they've been a huge comfort for me.
yeah,
A huge comfort for me. And it's like I look forward to coming home at night, and I've lost a lot of sleep recording these. I mean, lots of sleep.
yeah,
But what I do is so after that first night, I'm like, okay, I've got orbs in my house now.
yeah.
So I started videotaping, and I became obsessed.
I can
And
see why.
yeah, and I have over 1,000, you know, videos and
Wow.
pictures. So the pictures come from the videos. I don't have any where I just took a picture. They're all videos, and then I take stills
Because
with
they're
the
so
video.
fast too.
They are fast.
Yeah.
Some are slower, but some they are, and you can tell because I've questioned myself like over and over, and like even like recently, sometimes you just get in your head, and then it's
Yeah.
like, what is this?
Yeah.
And so I'll I'll do a test, and I'll like hit blankets or something like that to see if dust flies up, to get
Yes.
videotapes of dust. It's not dust. It's not
Yes.
dust.
Or any precipitation. So somebody had the shower, I could hear the water running, and this
Oh,
stuff was going like this. And she said there was no wind in the room. I said, no, but the air from a shower running does create air, and the precipitation can, and it of course looks like orbs. And so I just want you guys to know we want to debunk this because we're not here to tell somebody that they're not seeing them. We're here to make sure that that is what you're seeing, and this is a totally different ballgame. And so I want to ask the questions, and now we're going to go into, because I want you to know that I asked Nikki to join me in what I'm going to create a master class where we can actually work with you to call them in, and I just simple things that I even teach my students, and I know Nikki is right in alignment with this. Is it's all about your frequency and what you're believing and thinking. So if you want them, you need them. It's a parlor trick. We're not here to do that. We're here to now go into this realm of things that exist right here that are coming into our realities because we are opening up the veils. All right. And I
yes.
think what she went through, I think when people go through trauma, they often go into awakened states. They open more, the defenses are down, and there are realms that are waiting to assist us and comfort us. And when we open up to that and allow it in, it happens. And she doesn't go into fear, which is an invitation. So when you go into fear, it's a lower frequency, and it's a no. And so we want to teach you how to go into that state because it's not always easy. People want things. One of my subscribers said, oh, I'm awakened. And I want to go into the magic you talk about it. And how do I get it? I said, you're already blocking yourself by having to get it. Now we have the desire to attract things, but that ordering and a requirement versus an invitation are two different things. And we're going to talk about that. So if you are inviting them in, and we'll do this in the master class, when you're inviting them in, what is it you actually do? Do you just open yourself up? Do you request it? What are you actually thinking of or doing something when they show up, or this is just random?
I mean, I was in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, we use those tones, to.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that kick started it. So,
Yes.
but then the tone thing stopped working, and they just started showing up on their own,
Yeah.
which is amazing. And so I didn't need that anymore. Kind of like if you, I don't know, like break a crystal or something like that, you hear that you don't need it anymore. So,
Right.
um, so, um, and I'm not saying that out of ego. I'm just saying they just started
No,
showing up,
you
which is
created the
amazing.
opening. Yes.
Yes.
So when you
So,
communicate, let's talk about the communication.
okay.
Yeah. So what are you doing? What's happening? And I know that this is all telepathic. What's taking place during this time period?
So, well, I can't say I'm always in a good state. Sometimes I'm just like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of course.
But they show up either way. But I call them in now. It's like a weird thing, and I get downloads sometimes.
Hmm.
I started doing this thing with my hand. It's really weird, and I don't know if this is just a personalized thing, but I started. I have like sometimes I feel like energy in my fingers,
Yes.
and so one night something told me to just like lift my hand up in the air and start. I mean, I do it up higher like this.
Uh huh.
I started spinning my hands, and I'm like, I call them my beauties.
Hmm.
So I'm like, where are my beauties at? And doing that telepathically.
Yeah.
And then I started going faster and faster, and they just swarmed in. And I have some videos that are 5 minutes long where it's just orbs like constantly.
Wow.
So that's my own little thing that I do is like, where are my beauties at? But mostly right now it's just a feeling. But I do feel like anybody can do this if
Yeah.
they want this. And I know for a lot of people, it's like seeing is believing. So it's hard to, listen to somebody else talk about this until you actually experience it yourself. But
But I
I
do,
just,
yeah, but I do believe that if you come out of seeing as believing, that you have a better chance of connecting to them because that's a barrier. Now
you're right.
let's talk about what what you think they are. I have my own opinion of that. What do you personally think that they are?
My first thought was angels.
Hmm.
That was my very first thought. The app that I was listening to was to call in, like the tones. That was to call in ETs.
Was that
So
study five or yeah, ET
the
there's yeah,
CE5, yes, the
CE5,
CE5, right?
yeah. I
And
actually
the
have that app. I've never used it, but
okay, well, mine stopped working, so I'm like, okay,
oh,
I guess I don't need that anymore.
okay, yeah.
So, so that was to call in ETs, so or energy beings. So that's what I was calling them. Then it just kind of evolved to calling them my lights and whatnot. And but there are some videos of me talking to them out loud. I'm like, where are my angels at? Where are my angels at? Thank you, angels. Thank you, angels. And I do have some videos of them where it it almost looks like there's wings there.
Yeah,
It's like a round center and then two round flapping things on the sides of it.
yeah,
And I have videos, two videos of that as well, where they look like you can actually, like they're actually flying. So I've seen all like the ones that I sent you that I've seen them in every color. And normally, um, when I'm taking the videos, if there's like a super bright flash, that turns out to be a brightly colored orb. So when I pause the video, it could be like the one I sent you, like the hot pink,
yes.
bright green, orange, gold, purple, blue, every color. I've not seen any black ones, any gray ones, any brown ones, but I've seen every other color, and some of them are mixed. One looked like a kind of like a candy corn. I think I sent that to you. It was like white in the middle, and then like yellow, and then orange. It
Yeah,
looked like candy corn. So they, and that was more of like a tubular shape. It wasn't. It wasn't round.
yeah.
So
So not one size fits all. I mean, obviously they have
no,
their own individual expressions.
they
So
do.
my
It's
take on
beautiful.
this is, yeah, they're more of the pure energy form of everything. They haven't really transformed into any defined illusion like a human or a tree or something. I believe they are pure energy form that then can transform into anything. Now, have you seen any faces in there? Because some of my subscribers swear they've seen faces in your
Oh
orb.
yeah. So
Okay.
many. I am just tingling like crazy talking about this. So that's
Yeah.
great. So many faces in them. So many faces. And I nobody that I recognize,
Yeah.
just faces. And some of them even look like animals,
Yeah.
like an animal face. But yeah, different faces. And I've also done like a I don't know what you call it, like a reel by reel. I can't think of what it's called right now on the video. Um,
Like a frame by frame where
frame by frame.
yeah,
Thank you.
like a
Yes.
stop frame. Yeah.
Yes, so I've taken like screenshots of a frame by frame
Yeah.
of them changing color.
Yes.
So they can be like green and then go to like a reddish to an orange to a yellow back to green. And I think one of them I have actually in my bedroom where I'm at now. I think there was like 9 or 10 different frames of it changing color. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's
This
beautiful. I love it.
so I don't think, I mean, we talk about this stuff. I don't think humans wrap their head around how incredible it really is, because this is energy in its purest form, in its highest frequency, because as Nikki was sharing, there's a feeling of euphoria and love
Yeah.
where there's no judgment, no anger. There's nothing in that energy field that's coming in the room. And when you open yourself up to it, it is magical. And so when I see these, my gut instinct is that that pure energy form, everyone has been other things endlessly and is all connected to these things. I think that's an open gateway for other energy forms to show themselves in that energy field, in between wherever they're going, I do believe it's just this amazing portal, almost like in some ways,
Yeah.
of energy expressions. Now, do you believe that they live here, they exist here, or are they, I mean, it's hard to say because everything is everything everywhere anyways, but do you think there's like spending time here, they're actually here?
I I really can't tell you. I feel like the orbs that have been in my house are more here.
Hanging out here.
More here. Like the
Yeah.
ones that I saw outside, the huge ones,
Yeah.
those seemed otherworldly.
Yeah.
Those really seemed otherworldly because they were huge and high up in the sky. And I mean they got lower in the ground too. And then the little tiny greenish ones, those seemed they didn't have a body. It
Yeah.
was just bizarre.
Right.
So those seemed otherworldly too. And I've talked to I've talked to quite a few people about this, just people that I was surrounding myself with. And some said, maybe fairies. And I don't know about all that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I've tried doing my research, but I just want, no, I don't know. I don't know what they are. I feel blessed that they're
The thing
here.
that I want to express to people is that as humans, we always want to name and label things. And
Yes,
so
yes,
we come up with angels, but the thing is that when you go into that higher space, there are no names, there are no labels, there are no permanent forms of any kind, and so they can transform into anything. And we've heard about people or beings showing up as extraterrestrials and then going into light form and then going into ball and taking off, and so they can transform like this because they're in the higher frequency. They could just do it on a dime. We have a more difficult time because we are in such a dense lower frequency, or
right,
vibration I should say. You can have a high frequency within this lower vibration body, but it really has its, we have chosen limitations here is to experience that density. But as we open up ourselves to the higher frequencies and we do break through the fear, that's everything I teach is break through the fear, go ahead, feel it, but you don't have to believe it anymore. And I think
yeah,
the more that we go into these realms of connecting to these higher energies, the more assistance I believe we'll get. And the more we will go raise our frequencies out of the fear and realize that is a part of us. And that is really the essence of us. And so they are all just another form interacting with us in our little illusion play here that we can transform into something so amazing here on earth. What a amazing opportunity to take the densest form of energy, right? Take remove all our memory of what we are and everything else and say, okay, now go for it. Can you go back into that higher realm again as a dense body? And I think that that's what's happening right now. What do you
yeah.
think about that?
Oh, I agree. I agree. It's beautiful. I mean, I've seen a lot of people change, like for the better on a higher
Yeah,
frequency. And I'm not on social media anymore, just because other than YouTube. But I was seeing changes in people, just and they would comment on things that I was posting because I was posting. I did share some of my orbs, but I didn't want them to get into the wrong hands.
yeah.
Um, I was posting a lot of things that were high frequency,
Mhm.
and people were letting me know, like personally, that I was having a positive effect on them, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I want to do that. I'd love to share more pictures and videos with people, and help them call them in, and yeah, just go from there. And
So
I also wanted to share, I just told you this before, but I've been telling my son and his girlfriend, I said, these orbs are coming to me for a reason.
yes.
I don't know what it is, but I'm going to keep videotaping them. And when the time is right, then I'm gonna I'm gonna find out, and maybe this is it. So, or
Well,
hopefully,
this might be it because I people send me a lot of stuff, and she was very reluctant because when you mentioned that you see him, I requested her to send me something, and when I saw them, I said, "Oh wow, this is
yeah,
different." And
I know.
yeah,
I'm so excited. They're
you know,
just beautiful.
it's inspiring. It is. It's magical, and we all need magic in our lives, and we want to bring that to you. and they want to bring it to us. And if we're open to it, we're going to look at the world differently and energy differently and one another and realize, why would we ever oppose anything and or criticize or judge anything? It just makes no sense. It's so not in alignment with what we see in these beautiful orbs that are just pure joy and happiness. There's nothing else to really concern yourself with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we want to go into that space. So what I want to do is, just so everybody knows, if you're signed up for my email list, you will receive something soon. Nikki and I are going to put together a master class. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yay.
Yes. And what I will have it'll be a structure where we're going to talk about what they are. So we go into that state of total love and opening. And
Absolutely.
and then we'll actually go into some meditation and open, sort of like those of you who are in my miracle circle, we actually go into those spaces ourselves. And we will go into that state of meditation, and we'll decide, Nikki and I'll decide what fun things we're going to do. And then, talk about how to do this, how to film them, what happens before you film them, how she's doing that. And I'm going to play around with it myself. I have seen orbs for periods of time, a lot of them with my eyes, but I haven't seen any in a while. So maybe it's time for me to call some in. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. That
So,
sounds wonderful.
yeah, I'll do my own little experimentation to see if maybe they'll come visit me.
Great.
So stay tuned. We're going to talk more about this because we're going into an era where just everything is possible and there is never anything to be afraid of ever.
Nope.
And yeah, and we are going to transform this planet if you choose to, and it is a choice, and it's happening, and everyone gets to participate again with through free will. Why it's showing up with her, I don't know. But when I spoke of Chris Bledsoe, he said the same thing. He doesn't know why. He has expressed the very same things that she has. Nikki's talking about being able to call them in, knowing they're there, feeling that connection to them, and that is that whole mind that we are a part of, that goes beyond the thinking brain and all of the stories we tell ourselves. When we go into that shared space, it is a collective mind, one mind, that's pretty beautiful. So I want to thank you, and we'll talk, like I said, more about this. We'll let everybody know when that class is coming out. I hope you guys will join us. All you have to do is sign up for the list. You'll be notified, and then we'll see where this takes us. And I personally, I'm hoping that I can convince Nikki to come down here to Florida and join me in an event that's coming up in October. We have a beach.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have a beach.
Yes.
Maybe we'll get an app that will help us maybe go call them in. This happens to be, I don't know if you know this, Chris Bledsoe's daughter lives right here.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
right here in the Tampa area, and they go on the beach here and call in orbs.
Oh, I would love it. That sounds
So
amazing.
they like Tampa. The
Right.
Orbs of Tampa. Who doesn't like
That's
Florida,
great.
right?
Right, right. That's beautiful. I'd love to see orbs in the palm trees because here I see them like in the pine
There
trees.
we
So
go.
that's
Look,
going to be
and the
beautiful.
ocean. We'll call them in. So
Sounds wonderful.
thank you so much for everything. I hope you all will give your lovely comments and thank Nikki for coming out. This was a big deal for her to do this because she has never publicly spoke about this. But
Oh,
more and more people like yourself are feeling like it's time. And I appreciate you stepping out into that space that can be very uncomfortable, but
yeah.
placing others first, and this positive message. So
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Landria.
thank you. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Bye bye.